Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we're going back into the Disney Vault as we take a look at a Disney rarity when we look at the Biscuit Eater. And stay tuned for our bonus story as we take a quick profile on Disney Legend Jimmy McDonald. And if you are enjoying these videos, I do ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new episode. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we are covering The Biscuit Eater. This movie was released on March 22nd, 1972. It was directed by Vincent McEvey. It is based on The Biscuit Eater by James Street. The screenplay was by Lawrence Edward Walken, and the production company was Walt Disney Productions, and the distribution was through Buena Vista Entertainment. So let's take a look at the production history. So the movie is a remake of a previous movie titled The Biscuit Eater as well, and this was originally released in 1940. This is a subgenre of films that Disney released, which it's a series of films that they released, which featured a movie with a film of a boy and his incredible animal, the most popular of these being Old Yeller. The Biscuit Eater was the last of these type of movies released by Disney, and the score was written by Robert F. Berner and featured a song called Moreover and Me, sung by Shane Tatum. The song is played over the opening and ending credits. The film would get a DVD release eventually on May 22nd, 2002. So in terms of the cast, we have Earl Hallman, who plays Harve McNeil. We have Pat Crawley, who plays Mary Lee McNeil. Lou Ares, who plays Mr. Amos. Godfrey Cambridge, who plays Mr. Dorsey. Bay Richards, who plays Charity Tomlin. Clifton Jones, who plays Mr. Eblin. And Johnny Whitaker, who plays Lonnie McNeil. So in terms of the plot, it is quite simple. Lonnie, the son of a top-flight dog trainer, refuses to give up on the ragged old dog his dad calls a good-for-nothing biscuit eater. With the help of his buddy Tex, they take on the most impossible task of turning him into a champion bird dog. So there is not a lot of this movie because it's one of those movies that Disney kind of pushed into the vault, and with the addition of Disney Plus, it saw the light of day again. So in terms of recommending this movie is very simple, and it feels like a TV movie. The acting is okay, but the real problem is the story, as it just feels like there's no stakes in making Moreover, who's the champion dog, into for him to succeed. The story builds to have Moreover, the dog, being a great champion bird dog, but then it takes a turn to where the kids are afraid of putting his dad out of work being a dog trainer, and which seems to come out of complete nowhere. Overall, I just think this movie fails to connect with the audience, which is why I probably say I'm not going to be watching this one again. But it is a good, interesting look at Disney history in the 1970s, and this was kind of where the Walt Disney Company was kind of rudderless without the Walt Disney, because this was like 4 or 5 years after Walt had passed away. So they were kind of just making movies for the sake of making movies at this point. But let's take a look at our bonus story as we take a look at Jimmy McDonald. Jimmy McDonald was born in Britain and would work for Disney as a sound effects artist, along with a voice artist, musician, and conductor. Early in McDonald's life, he worked as a musician on the Dollar Steam ship lines, and in 1934, this led to an opportunity to work for the Walt Disney Company, where he would be eventually promoted to the head of the sound effects department. McDonald would create several innovations to create complicated sound effects. This included the circus train engine from Casey Jr., sound effects from the bees from the Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, Tick-Tock Crocodile from Peter Pan, and the dragon from Sleeping Beauty. The majority of his sound effects would be released on Cartoon Tracks Volume 1 on CD, and that was released in 1992. McDonald would also be recognized for his voice acting work. He is the first Walt Disney Company employee to voice Dopey, as McDonald did the hiccuping and sobering for Dopey in Snow White. In 1947, Walt Disney would pass on the responsibility of voicing Mickey Mouse to McDonald, who would be the official voice until his retirement in 1976. Other voice acting roles for Jimmy included Chip, the Dormouse in Alice in Wonderland, Jacques, Gus, and Bruno in Cinderella, Humphrey the Bear, the dogs in the pound in Lady and the Tramp, and Evinrude in The Rescuers. And even though he was retired, McDonald continued to offer his assistance in attractions for the Walt Disney parks, included the Haunted Mansion and Splash Mountain, before we lost him in 1991 at the age of 84. And because of we lost him in 1991 at the age of 84. Excuse me. Because of his amazing talent and years of service, McDonald was honored as a Disney legend in 1993. So we continue to thank you for Mr. Jimmy McDonald's work, and we continue to see his work in he paved the way for kind of the sound effects department. So definitely a Disney legend, well worth honoring. So thank you so much for joining us here on Disney Movie Investigation. I would invite anyone to please leave a comment below on what they think of the movie The Biscuit Eater, as well as if you have a favorite Jimmy McDonald memory, that would be great to share that as well. So as we look forward into our next episode, we're going into the world of Marvel again as we take a look at Spider-Man 2 starring Tobey Maguire. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.